Well, good morning, everybody. We're back. It's been a while. We have been so busy with everything going on in just the world of insurance. You have heard it. I mean, recorded telephone calls, recorded sales calls. How do I get leads? I mean, anything and everything that you can think of that we've been through before is happening again. However, I wanted to create a series for all of you that would be shorter videos that you could just really hear a quick presentation, apply it to your opportunity, and take off and start taking care of your clients and taking care of your family at the same time. So if you saw the post today on Facebook, and I really wish all of you would go to Gaylan Hendricks, Queen of the Bundle, either follow us or friend request us, whichever works for you. We're trying to get everybody in one centralized location. I promise you, none of you will get kicked off my page. None of you will miss out on anything. We're just trying to get to a place where everybody can hear the same thing, same times, every day, and when they want to. So let's talk about work. What does W.O.R.K stand for, right? So one of the things that I think we've got to really focus on is the O in work. But when you work the opportunity, that's one thing. Most of us end up here in the insurance business because we're trying to solve a financial problem. Isn't it funny? Insurance is what we do for our clients, trying to solve a financial problem for them, but most of the agents that come into the industry are trying to solve their own financial problem. So when you work the opportunity, that's one thing, but it's when you become successful with the opportunity and it's having the right knowledge. And the right knowledge is going to be what we hope you get out of these series of selling presentations. You know, there's 5, the way I've summed it up. I really feel like the government has made our job easier. When you've done this industry for 37 years like I have, some of you I know watching this are not even 37 years old, and that's okay. I started when I was 22 as well. But we've got to think about how we can bundle ACA plans, how we can build great packages of protection for the true group policies out there, primarily on dependent coverage. Dependent coverage is where a lot of the employees are hurt. They can't afford it. Companies are not providing employee coverage for the dependents of those employees. And then we've sold short-term medical for a while now, and some of you out there sold it with selling a false sense of security for your clients. And a lot of that might have been how you were taught. It might have been you didn't understand short-term medical, why it really came about. And I think all of us have played in that market enough to know that there are some dangers in that market. The other 2 that we're going to stress on is in the senior market. And we're going to talk a lot about the Med Advantage plan, which will also encompass dual eligibles, which is some of y'all that are dealing in the Medicaid market or the D-SNP market. And then we're going to talk about the Medicare supplement market. There are certain ancillary plans that fit with these different categories better than others, but the truth of the matter is to get started. You all have figured out how to go out and write an ACA plan on maybe a portal and make a quick $50. And some of you are sitting there going, woohoo, I made $50 today. If I make $50 5 days a week, that's $250, and that's enough to help get a vacation fund. What you really need to see is that the opportunity in front of you is far more than a stay-at-home mom or dad bringing in vacation money or bringing in grocery money. I heard a newscast yesterday where it said the American public is strapped for cash. The truth of the matter is our service industries out there have suffered greatly because people didn't feel the need to go work. When you walk into a restaurant in almost any town in America, they're short-staffed. You walk into a hotel, the workers, where are they? Short-staffed. You know, everything became a COVID blame, right? So I'm really trying to just have a conversation with you on this first series, and I want to talk about what I do. You know, one of the things I do is read a lot. Y'all have seen me quote books a lot. You've seen me create posts. That's why a lot of people are out there saying, I don't want to leave your page because that's where all the inspiration is. No, all of it's going to be on the Gaylan Hendricks Queen of the Bundle page. But y'all have heard me in the Med Advantage and the ACA market use this quote a lot. It's by one of the best female entrepreneurs today. And it's Dolly Parton. And she simply says, it costs a lot of money to look this cheap. Now she's making fun of herself, which I find humorous because that's kind of the way I like to do things. But what we really have got to remember is she's a senior citizen. She's in her 70s. She is smart as a whip. She still calls herself a hillbilly. She has zero problem with calling herself a hillbilly because she's okay with that. I think what we all have to do is remember that we don't have to be a superstar to be successful. We have to start to be successful. A lot of you are having the best AEP you've ever had. Some of you are having the same old AEP that you've had since you started in the business. You just replace business every year and you're not building on to your empire. You're not making it better. You're just making it the same. And there's some of you that are like, oh my gosh, I'm suffering here. I'm struggling here. I don't know if I need to stay in the insurance business. I've always had great AEPs. I don't know what's going on. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the first thing you need to do is change your mindset. You know, so many people say that's a gimmick, that's just motivation. Well, I love what Zig Ziglar says. We all need it. It's like bathing. Some of us don't think we need it, but we've been behind those people that don't think they need it, right? And they need it. Especially if you travel like I do and you're in one airplane after another and they sit right next to you like they haven't had a bath in 5 days. So motivation is very important to our success. And I had a teacher a long time ago tell me, you will make as much money as you motivate yourself to do so. And I really do believe in that. And I wake up every day asking myself how I can be a better teacher, how I can be a better educator, how I can be a better person. Some days I fail. It's just part of life. Some days I have bad days. But I really try hard when I'm having a bad day to separate myself from that and read something. So this book right here was life-changing for me. I read this book when I started my company back in 2003 or 4. And this is a gentleman by the name of Larry Winget. What I love about this guy is I had no idea who he was. He thought he was a superstar when he hit the stage. He thought he was the best-selling author in America. Maybe he was. He convinced me he was. And I bought his book. I bought his bundle at the time. It was 3 books you get for $20 or you can buy 1 for $15. Guess what I did? 3 for $20. So that's when probably the bundle started with me. But I love something that he says on the front of this book, and it says, shut up, stop whining, and get a life. How many of us find ourselves during our Super Bowl whining? You know, we've heard a lot about that from Tom Brady, if you will. Everybody's like, oh, he shouldn't have come back. He lost his marriage, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's always easy to judge from our seat. We're not living that life. We're not in the middle of that. It takes 2 to make, 2 to break. And we've got to remember the same thing happens in our business relationships. If you're not getting along with your boss, own half of it. If you're not getting along with an employee, own half of it. You're not getting along with your spouse, own half of it. Even if you think you're totally innocent, you're not, by the way, but you need to own half. Because the only way that you ever get to cross that bridge to success is 2 things. Being okay with failure and being okay with accountability to the failure that happened. Because that's the path to success. So there's a page in this book, and I keep these books on my shelves. I'm starting to share them with you and sending them to you because all they're doing is collecting dust. But I do refer back to them, and there's a page in this book, page 94, and it says, and I love that this book is called Black and White because I'm a shades of gray girl, right? So if you look at this book, the shades of gray are right here, but there's black and they're white. But the shade of gray is what makes this book appealing to me, and maybe it was set up that way to begin with, but listen to this. We all spend most of our lives trying to figure out how to get more. You get more by giving up more. That's the irony. You only get by giving up. Now that doesn't mean giving up your opportunity. Hang tight. You lose weight by giving up the stuff that isn't good for you to eat. You get rich by giving up the stuff that keeps you from getting rich. Things like too much television, lousy work habits, not reading, etc. You get more success by giving up the stuff that keeps you from being successful. That's how it works. Give up the stuff that is stopping you from getting what you want, and you will get what you want. Now, I remember when I read that, it had to have been in 2004, and I remember thinking, I want all these things, but I'm going to have to give up something to make this thing work. So I didn't get to be the mom that picked up my kid at 3 o'clock every day. I didn't always get to be the mom that saw my kid off to school. I didn't always get to be the mom that was at the assembly. But what I was a mom that showed work ethic. I was a mom that showed that her family meant more than going out with my girlfriends for happy hour. And so you've got to remember that even though you're making a small sacrifice, and it's a small sacrifice. AEP is a lot of stress. It's a lot of pressure. But your family knows it comes every year, just like I started off the beginning of this. You've got to remember, it happens. It happens. This is another great book. It's called Good to Great. This book, when Taylor Martin, my business partner, first gave it to me, I was like you. I was like, I don't even know who Jim Collins is. And Taylor was like, just read it. It's great. I paid $9.98 at half-price bookstores. If you don't read it, it's not that big deal. But there was something on the back that I read that I liked, and it said, a book CEOs can't wait to buy. Well, I wasn't a CEO at the time, but I thought, if a CEO can't wait to buy this book, maybe I should take a look at it. And there's a page that I've earmarked in this book, but I earmarked it not because of what Jim Collins said, but because of what the late, great President Harry Truman said. And the title of this chapter is Level 5 Leadership. And I was like, Level 5 Leadership, what does that mean? What does that say? But Harry S. Truman has a quote here that says, you can accomplish anything, not just something, anything in life, provided that you do not mind who gets the credit. I have people all the time that ask me this. So-and-so is copying you. So-and-so did this. So-and-so did that. Did you see this YouTube? Did you see that YouTube? I don't get caught up in that. I don't know why. I guess a long time ago I was told that the best form of flattery was copying me. And I don't let it bother me. You know, it only bothers me when people start talking about it. And it just creates like this ulcer. So what I do is I just take myself out of it. And then I go listen to the YouTube that they sent me, or I go read the post that the person made. And I realized that I educated that person. I did something for that person. So if you go back to the Harry S. Truman quote, if you do enough for enough people, you can get anything you want in this life. And I have been incredibly blessed. Now, this book may take you by surprise, but if you've been following me anytime at all, you know that there's only a couple of people that I would be starstruck by. And I've already talked about one of those people, which is Dolly Parton. I fortunately in my life got to meet Zig Ziglar. But if I saw Gene Simmons, I would probably become speechless. I don't think there's a better marketer in our entire universe than Gene Simmons. How many times can you recreate a marketing campaign on a band that came out in the 70s and people still can't wait to go see them, and they fill up auditoriums, they buy anything that has Kiss on it, but yet this is an outrageous person, spits blood, wears weird makeup, high shoes, but came to this country without knowing a stitch of English, came to this country after his father abandoned him, came to this country, him and his mom living in a basement, her making a half a penny for every button she sewed, and he feels that America has given him an opportunity of a lifetime. The man has never had an illegal drug. The man has never had a sip of alcohol, except on his wedding day to Shannon Tweed, and he did it for his children and spit it out. He's a disciplined individual that is a fantastic provider for not only his son and daughter and his wife, but for his mother, and made sure she had anything and everything she could possibly want because of the life that she gave up to give him the life he has today. And then last, you've seen me talk about this week, a book on this man. I love Elvis Presley, as most of you know. There's a joke out there that if he had not died, I would have married him. But Donny Osmond brings back a lot of memories of my childhood. But Donny Osmond had a lot of things going on in his life that were very complicated. People think he's different, he's odd because he's a Mormon. But he stresses in this book what a Christian he is. And he gives basic Christian beliefs all throughout his book. He talks about his parents, how their love for him has made him who he is. Their strict upbringing made him appreciate them more as people, because it's easier to be that parent that just lets your kids get away with murder. It's hard to be that parent that wants your child to turn out to be something great. He had performing phobias, but I can remember sitting on curbs talking to my girlfriends at 6 and 7 and 8 years of age about a person that I got to see about a month ago within like 2 steps of me. And I remember sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, not only are you good looking, but you're still here. You talk about perseverance. You talk about somebody that never gave up on his opportunity. And if you read his book, you'll find out that while he made it look easy, it was anything but easy. So I stopped there to tell you, I hope you're going to find all of these sessions fantastic. The first one we're going to talk about is the Med Advantage market. The Med Advantage market has never been hotter than it is today. Face-to-face agents are furious with all the Joe Namath commercials. Furious, because they feel like they're still in their business. The truth of the matter is, not all those call centers do a great job for the client, so those clients are still for the taking. You're just not seizing the opportunity. Remember, an opportunity is a gift. The earned part of it is what you make of it. So I thank you for tuning in. I hope you'll pick up one of these books. If not, I hope you pick up a book that will help you. I hope if you're having the best AEP of your life that you really appreciate it. I hope you appreciate your clients. I also hope that if you're having one of the not so great AEPs, that you will stop for a minute, not give up, dial into these sessions, reach out to me. We will always find you a home if you've been abandoned or you feel abandoned. But I'll tell you, most of the time, if you're working with an FMO, I know who they are. They're great people, and they care about you, and they care about your success. And if you're having a little bit of negativity about that FMO, or you're having a little bit of negativity about the industry you've chosen, don't let that ruin the opportunity for success. It might just be part of your failure process. So you're close to success. So thank you for dialing in. Hope you guys will dial in for the next one and find just as much value out of it as you have found in the other YouTubes that we've put out there on Queen of the Bundle. Have a great day, and thanks for dialing in.